Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of our Spotlight series here for this week in the FCL. I am your host, Ryan, and our guests for our very first episode. What better way to kick this thing off than when two of the coolest kids in the world, two of the most electrifying individuals on the face of this planet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, late to the party zone, Vanessa and Robert. Let's bring him in here.
Woo!
Robert and Vanessa. Yeah.
Electrifying. I've never been said I was electrifying before.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Shocking.
I will say it's one of my favorite words in the everyday vocabulary. Plus, I picked that word up from our good friend Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, so I got to keep using it, brother.
They must electrify move. We know the rest, but isn't The Rock so damn good? He is the pinnacle right there for just character work in combat.
He most certainly is, but thank you very much for being with us here, Robert and Vanessa. We could not be happier. So to kick things off, let's go back to the beginning for a few minutes here. What would you say, and I'll start off with you, Vanessa, ladies first, some of your favorite movies or TV series when you were growing up?
No one ever adds a TV series. That's pretty good.
That is good. Growing up, I was more Titanic. Everyone knows that Titanic is actually my favorite movie of all time. Scream was one of them that I would pop into the VHS all the time, watch that. That was great. Even though I wasn't like old enough to watch it, I watched it anyways. And then I remember my neighbor dressing up as Ghostface, and it like freaked me out. And the way that their house is like they have no gate on either side of the house. So I literally was running around the whole house, like on the outside as my neighbor was chasing me because he was playing Ghostface, and it was the scariest thing in my life.
Was he really short too?
No, he was tall.
Oh, damn. Okay, that's even crazy. I had a Ghostface outfit too when I was younger.
For TV shows, I guess majority of the time I'd be watching the Batman animated series. That was one that I would watch the most. And then it went into Batman Beyond after that because I wanted to watch that.
Movies were everything in my life. 80s. I mean,
and Boy Meets World. I love Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Boy Meets World. For me, the school sitcom was Saved by the Bell. I mean, that one was every day you get home from school, Saved by the Bell is on. And that was, early 90s, late 80s. And then, of course, 80s. It was Ghostbusters, constantly watching Ghostbusters cartoons with G.I. Joe. I mean, it was playing the games, or not the games. It was playing with the toys and making your own world. And then Nintendo came out. Of course, then you got the games. But when it came down to it, man, it was 80s comedies and movies I should not have been watching. Revenge of the Nerds, Bachelor Party. Like many kids growing up in the 80s and 90s, our VHS tapes usually had 3 or 4 movies that you could record and cram into one VHS.
That is true.
So it was constant. You had some movies that were probably not kid friendly.
I had Nightmare Before Christmas on one with Practical Magic, and then Tango and Cash was like another one in there. Like it was the 3 of them in one VHS.
But yeah, man, it was a huge amalgamation of movies. I think that's why we were forged. And I bet you can understand that. I bet anybody who is a Schmoedown competitor can understand that, where it's just, it's a big group. Asking us what our favorite movie is, well, it's a loaded question.
No, yeah, that is for sure. But full disclosure, just a little peek behind the curtain. I've been watching movies since the tender age of 4, and one of the first movies, if not the first movie I ever saw in theaters, Robert and Vanessa, was Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze.
It's a good one. It's a great one for just, quoting and conversation. The Prefight Donut, Andres and I were battling it out in FCL, and the Prefight Donut, man, I think I got to pick one up so we can have one of those. I got to talk to Andres.
Oh, jeez.
Prefight Donut?
I know, right? Seriously, what's wrong with having a pre-fight donut every now and again?
It's sugary.
It's delicious. I mean, it depends on the donut.
It gives you short-term energy.
Yeah, by round 2, I'm all like crashing over here, which is usually where I fail is in round 3. So we shall see how that plays out. That wasn't true against Jeff Snyder, though. I think I got my 3 and my 5, and there were some tough ones too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Really?
We couldn't tell from this side of the studio, I should say.
I'm terrified.
You,
And I'm excited. It comes with the
You're
with
terrified.
the territory.
I'm more terrified. I'm doing this by myself.
It's true. This is her first
This is
singles.
my first thing by myself.
That's true. Yeah, because I went in with the singles with Jeff, and it was a great match. Other than me forgetting two big names that I don't see them as actors, I just see them as characters. But when it comes down to taking that plunge into solo, yeah, this is your first time. And for me, it was going up against Jeff, who we know very well. We're friends with Jeff, and you're going up with someone you have no idea. Tom
Chimichanga something? I don't know.
Chimichangas?
I'm sorry. We don't mean to butcher your last name competitor who is unnamed. But anyway, your next. So the next thing I want to ask, we talk about movies and TV series. Sometimes when you get a chance to go to certain events, you get a chance to meet some of your favorite actors, meet some of your favorite TV stars, maybe even comic book writers or artists. We don't know. What was your first Comic-Con, guys?
God, that's a great question too. Man, you guys are killing it.
Our first was actually Phoenix Comic-Con. More so Phoenix Fan Fest. That was the one that we went to, and it was a little bit smaller, but yet they had it at the University of Phoenix Stadium where the Cardinals play. But yeah, that was the first time. And so and the reason why we went is because some of our favorite old Doctor Who doctors were going, and we're like, this is like a really good opportunity to meet them, because I feel like we probably will never meet them if we don't go. So we went, and we got to meet
Paul McGann,
Colin Baker,
and Paul
McGann.
And it was great. I mean, that's what gets us, so motivated to go to these things. It's just those opportunities that you typically will never you'll never have them in life other than going to these conventions.
And I had the best experience with Colin Baker too, because I told him that his intro, when he first, the first thing that he said as the Doctor was actually my text tone that I had on my phone. And he's like, "Oh, I'll create a new one for you."
He says, "Would you like a fresh one?" And we're like, "What?"
And I was freaking out.
Dude, he filmed, or we re-recorded. We were all nervous trying to get the record going on the phone. And he's much older, and he's like, "No, you just have to hit." So he's all telling us what to hit to get the record going on the phone.
Yeah.
And then, he did the opening line of his Doctor in text form, which in the show, it's "Change, my dear," and
Change, my dear, for what it seems, not a moment too soon.
That's the one.
And then he said, instead of saying "change," he says, "It's a text, my dear, and for what it seems, not a moment too soon." And I still have it, but
to this day,
I haven't used it yet, but I still have it. Or maybe it is. I don't know. My phone is usually on mute.
But if you're talking about the big meet and greets, I mean, we before the pandemic, the last Phoenix Comic-Con we went to, it was a double dose of amazing.
Yes, we got to meet Paul Rubens and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Amazing.
Jeff Goldblum was amazing. He was just singing, doing his little jazz, scat the whole time. It was great.
To us. He's humming and he's coming over and puts his arms around us, and he's still all jazzing out, singing, and we're like, "Oh my God, this is Ian now, come sing it to me." And then of course, Pee Wee Herman. We've gotten to see Pee Wee Herman a few times, but that was when we actually
we saw him twice, because we got a picture with him, and then we also got him to autograph a huge poster that we have of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So we got to kind of interact with him twice in the same weekend.
Dude, Pee Wee and I had a moment when we were waiting in line before we got the autograph.
You have a moment.
No,
he was just blankly looking. He doesn't know what he saw.
We had a moment. So he's up there at the table.
Yeah.
And Paul Rubens isn't the most energetic and enthusiastic guest.
Right.
He's there. It's a paycheck. He knows you love Pee Wee. He knows you're going to pay for Pee Wee. And you damn right I'm going to pay for Pee Wee. So I'm just staring at him because he's right there. It's all you can do when you're in line. You're like, oh my God. That's Pee Wee Herman. You're going through the memories of the movies and the quotes. Well, I'm staring at him. And he does a thing where he crosses over and he lets out a huge yawn. And right when halfway through, he looks dead in my eyes. And he keeps yawning, and I just keep staring at him, smiling. And then he's all And then he turns away, and it's because I saw him yawn, and we made that connection mid yawn, and then it just goes from a stop of the yawn to like, and I melted. I died.
I feel like also too.
I love that story.
Probably one of the ones, and we never got to meet them because I feel like it was really, really expensive to meet these actors.
Son of a bitch.
But
we had the opportunity.
We did get to see them in a panel, and that was Chris Evans, Anthony Mackie, Tom Holland,
oh my gosh,
and like the Spider-Man crew.
Jeez.
Yeah, like they were all there, and we got to see them like in a
panel.
Yeah, they were in a panel together, and Stanley was there too.
Yeah. And we could have taken, a picture meet
and we were walking around, and we got to see like close up Anthony Mackie at his table,
right,
and we were just like staring and hoping that we wouldn't like bump into somebody because we're like, hey, look, it's Anthony Mackie.
They're popping right now.
It was a lot of fun.
Jeez Louise, getting to see Pee Wee Herman and life finds a way in the same shot. Like that's
right.
Oh man,
those vlogs are available on our channel, so you can see those before and after the moments of when we met them. We chronicle all those experiences because we can't really remember the ones before we were chronicling,
right.
And you want to go back to those amazing meet and greets, those moments, and it's definitely something that we're thankful for, that technology allows us to be able to do that, and other people get to experience it with us as well. What about you? Biggest celebrity? Who did you meet?
Oh my gosh, for me, I've met some big fish over the years. I think one of my highlights for me would be getting a picture with Doc Brown in front of an actual DeLorean and a background of the clock tower in that same shot. And my question was answered at his panel because I asked him, one-on-one. So Christopher Lloyd was a big one.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. We got to see him as well. Didn't meet him. Didn't get a picture. We saw the panel. That's also in a vlog too. But yeah, man, that's a pinnacle actor of our childhood character. When he's gone, he is gone. And you just have to meet some of these or be in the presence of some of these legends. And Christopher Lloyd 100% is on that Mount Rushmore of celebs that you just got to meet.
Yeah, for sure. Christopher Lloyd was one of them. And then meeting the original Red Ranger, Austin St. John, who played Jason on Mighty Morphin, that was a big deal because 93, guys, 93 was a great year for us, wasn't it? Jurassic Park, Power Rangers, a lot of dinosaurs running around.
Yep.
It was fun.
School, I think, really kind of was the melting pot of all that fandom because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was buying the toys. Everybody was trying to buy the toys.
I had a Power Ranger at my birthday.
Nice.
Aww.
Yeah. I went to a couple birthdays.
The Yellow Ranger and the Pink Ranger.
There you go.
And then the Green Ranger came too.
So shit. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Tommy's in a wreck shop.
Dragon Zord. I know.
So
no. People always wonder, how can you play the flute when you're wearing a mask? It's like, well, I don't know. It's Power Rangers logic, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the mask got lips, so you could
so
make it work.
So to speak. But yeah, those were some of the highlights. And also growing up on reruns of Reading Rainbow, I met LeVar Burton. That was
nice.
I love LeVar Burton.
Did you just like
we can go twice as high?
Exactly. I had him sign one of my Reading Rainbow books that I still had from when I was a child, and that book was called Kate Shelley and the Midnight Express.
Dude, that's huge when it impacts you that much to where you remember the book. I don't remember any of the books, but I do remember my first interaction with like filming. Or at least trying to review on camera. Oh yeah. And
Kids critics.
It was that was the film side, but that was writing. Like I would have to write it and then say it over the phone, and then they would put it in the paper. But with the Reading Rainbow, man, it was like our teacher, I think it was 3rd grade, and they were trying to get us to learn how to analyze and critique and be able to form your emotions and what you feel about something into words. So they used Reading Rainbow, and we would watch Reading Rainbow like a lot. It was like a big project. and I was already watching Reading Rainbow off and on when I put on PBS, because I was on PBS quite a bit when I was a kid.
I love Reading Rainbow.
A lot of people were.
Yeah.
And so then, dude, we studied Reading Rainbow, studied LeVar Burton, studied just how these kids were doing it. And then we had to do it. So we had to find a book. We had to read it. We had to do the Reading Rainbow thing and critique what we thought about the book on camera. Like they brought a camera and had us film these things I guess it helped, man, because it definitely formed some sort of analysis type of cognitive thinking in my brain that got me to approach my love for movies and books and stuff, games and toys way back when. And it was because of reading Rainbow. So yeah, that's pretty much where I could pinpoint where it did start. So it obviously had an impact on me. I just don't remember any of the books, but I remember the technique that is the greatness of LeVar Burton in reading Rainbow.
For sure. And if you ever want to go back and find out what some of those books were, some of the episodes are available on our good friends at YouTube. # not a sponsor.
Damn,
but,
nice.
Yeah, there you go. That's how I found Kate Shelley and Midnight Express. I can rewatch it, relive my childhood.
Nice.
Thanks, YouTube.
Cool.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Anyway, Vanessa, just to give you a little bit of a Scream throwback. I did meet Roger Jackson, the voice of Ghostface. I did meet him. Nice fella. Granted, when you hear his voice, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
But when you meet him in person and you see all these different things that he's done in his career, it's like, oh, so you weren't just a horrifying serial killer in Scream. Okay.
Surprise, Sydney.
Yeah, you've done a million other things besides that iconic voice that we all grew up watching or listening to, I should say, as a kid. But so moving forward into the future here, Robert and Vanessa, who do you hope to meet when conventions reopen?
It's endless. I would love to meet any of the crew from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh yeah, that's where my mind went.
Yeah,
we have a poster in our living room here, and that's where I went. And I would love to meet Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
Show or movies, by the way.
Yeah,
Jermaine Clement, like any
oh yeah,
one of them.
Matt Berry,
freaking
Colin Robinson,
Mark Prost. Yeah, we got to meet Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
the TV series on FX,
and it was
San Diego Comic-Con, dude. Just walking around, going to the What We Do in the Shadows experience. What do they call those? The activations. And we're walking right up. That you can see all this in the vlog from San Diego Comic-Con on our channel. In line, about to go into this experience, and Guillermo walks up and starts doing photo ops right there on the side of the building, and we're like, oh, we run over, and the season finale had just ended, and a huge thing happens with his character. So being up there and talking to him as an actor, Harvey Guillen, and just talking to him and saying, oh my God, this happened in your, and he's like, yeah, you watched, like, he's so excited that you're not just like, oh, are you famous? No, we know what you've done, and it's brilliant, and not a lot of people know about it because it just happened. And so that was an amazing moment. But anyone from What We Do in the Shadows, the show or the movie,
I still really want to meet David Tennant. That's like one of my top
Purple Man.
Because, and he's my favorite doctor in Doctor Who. So him or Matt Smith. I would love to meet Matt Smith too, but more so David Tennant.
There's
or anyone in
Longulus.
the MCU, maybe.
I would just like to meet Bob Iger.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to meet Bob Iger.
I'm sure there's a few questions a lot of us would like to ask Mr. Bob Iger one day.
I don't know if I would ask him anything. I'd just be like, thanks, man. You held that ship together pretty well for as long as you did. We appreciate what you did.
That too.
In reigniting the fandom so we can keep loving them. Yes, a lot of heartache when it comes to that. But Baby Grogu is the shit. And we got The Mandalorian. And I'm happy for that. They brought us Favreau and Filoni together. Like, there's
I would like to meet Favreau.
Feige and what Feige's achieving once he lost Pro
You'd
Mutter.
be like looking in a mirror. People say he looks like John Favreau.
I got it
really?
my whole life. I get it my whole life. Our weight fluctuates the same too. So we're very
Or Mosby. Is that his name?
Ted?
I don't know. Ted Mosby.
Have you met my friend Ted?
From
How I Met You. I get that a lot.
He gets that a lot.
I do get that a lot.
Really? Wow. So I guess if you're Favreau, does that mean I get to be your best friend Trent in the reboot of Swingers? Can I be your best friend?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
They will reboot that thing because you know what, Robert, you're so money you don't even know it.
Don't even know it, man. You're so money.
Yeah. Well, both of you are because you're both from LTTP, some of the greatest people in the world. So yeah, you're so money you just don't even know it.
We're getting there. We're getting there. No, we're trying, man. It's definitely an experience that I never would have thought that we would be able to achieve and maintain, because we quit at one point. The channel did quit. No. We just stopped, and a long time went by. So it wasn't like
It
we're
was
not
at the
going to do it
very,
anymore.
very beginning. We tried we tried to do vlogging when we went to Disneyland, and that was kind of like our first one because we went to D23 the same year.
Yeah,
and it didn't really pan out very well there, and we were kind of like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. And then the first trailer, not the first trailer, but the final trailer. Yeah, the final trailer for The Force Awakens,
the big one,
came out.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, well, we got to do this. And then that kind of reignited the spark for us.
No, it basically, you figured out what we were and who we were and how we were going to approach it.
Right.
And then you get in, and then the workload becomes ridiculous. And that's when we got out. We didn't make any content for a while because like we were doing trailer reactions, trying to get the edits. Somebody else was editing for us because we didn't know how. Travis from late to the party, better late than never. Scott, my buddy Scott, was editing for us in the very beginning. And once you realize like, oh damn, if you're going to get into content creation, you got to kind of be consistent. You got to come out. People want to hear what you have to say about the latest, whatever it is you're covering. And yeah, like we did end up seeing the workload crush us to the point where we stopped for well over a month, it feels. Missed a bunch of trailers, missed just what was going on. And that's where if you just trudge forward, and even though you don't have a lot of views or you don't have a lot of subscribers like we did, like it was okay, what are we going to do to be able to maintain the workload? And it came down to, you got to learn how to edit. The only way it's going to work. Yep. We got to learn how to edit. So we did. The two of us both learned how to do our trailer. And it doesn't take much. It really isn't a whole lot. And that's why when I see what you guys put together coming out, it's like, look, you're starting to put this stuff together. Next thing, you maintain the content, the guests, the consistency, the FCL and Schmoedown, whether you're an after show or reaction channel, it is so much work because there is so much content to cover. And if you can bear that load of work that's just crushing on you, you just got to make it work. You got to figure out to streamline it and make it work. And essentially the passion and the reward and the fandom that kind of unites behind you is what really drives that forward. So yeah, like I said, we're trying, man. Like it's busy. It's busy every Thursday night, thanks to Disney Plus. I'm overnighting now. I keep working through the night, through the morning. Don't go to bed till maybe 6 or 7. Bunch of other channels doing it too. That's us putting our work in to try and get ahead, to be able to be seen. So you either go to a market where nobody's covering it, which right now you are in the prime push forward of FCL, like you guys are. The first Twitter that I saw pop up was your guys' Twitter before I ever saw the official FCL MTS Twitter. So you go into a market where nobody's there and you become, that's what we did with the Schmoedown reactions. Or you, I forgot what I was saying. What was I talking about? FCL.
Or you stay in the back and not be seen.
That wasn't where I was going to go.
Being dedicated to your work, Robert. Is that it?
Passionate. Hold on. Did I check all the boxes? Work hard.
Dedicated.
Work hard.
Consistent.
Work hard. I know you guys are trying to get me back on track. It was good. No, it's hard work. It really is. It's hard work. And we do appreciate every content creator that comes out for and in support of this game, because it's tough. Oh, now I remember what I was saying.
There you go. You had to get there.
No, it was, or you do it first.
Right.
It's you take over a market that nobody's doing it and make an impact, or you're doing it before everybody, because there's a wave coming. And if there's a wave coming, you're up at 6 a.m, hitting those trailer reactions, getting them out, which we're not. But if it's a show, we sure as hell are up at that time, getting it out as quick as we can. So, there are some advantages to being early to the party, and especially on YouTube. And so that's why, late to the party, we get it. It's ironic. It was more so the reason because we were late to the YouTube party. Yep. That's honestly what late to the party is. Everybody was doing everything we already were doing way before us. And
Right.
like most content creators, you see what others are doing and you get inspired. And you're like, I can do that. That's easy. You're like Galahad running up to the bridge. Blue, no, yellow. You think like, I can do this, and you do. A lot of people, man, they get in, they do it better, and you're like, damn it, how did I inspire you to be so good? And they just, 100,000 subscribers later. But I mean, if you work hard, like just look at our channel, man. If you just keep doing it, it will the number just keeps going up, and sometimes it crawls and sometimes it leaps. But I tell you, the number just keeps going up if you just keep plugging away at it, no matter what channel you are.
Yeah.
It's fair to say Motivational Speeches 101 coming this fall to a YouTube channel near you by Robert Montano. You're outside of having access to your favorite movies or TV series on physical media, because clearly I can see the pyramid of entertainment behind you. Yes, it's ridiculously good looking. It's better than anything I got in this man cave closet to my left. We'll talk more about that later. So outside of having that physical media access to your favorite movies or TVs, what do you enjoy collecting that's from your favorite movies or TVs? Is it NECA figures? Is it Funko Pops? What is it? What do you enjoy collecting the most?
It's posters.
It's artwork.
It's the artwork. We tried to get artwork that is not like the generic posters that they create. We like to go more so with artists that do their own like versions of the of the movies and stuff. Like right here to my right, I have a poster for Titanic, but it's like somebody drew it. And it's great. So
it's like old pop style of art. But no, it's the artwork. And in the beginning, it was the movie posters. Like you would get the movie poster. I worked at AMC theaters for a very long time.
Boss.
And so you get your hands on some good posters. Now, for instance, we've got a Cabin in the Woods poster that was a part of our backdrop on our set forever. And the other one is Inception. And the Inception is a Inception variant. Like it wasn't any of the ones where they're all standing on the street or the buildings. Like it's the one, which funny enough, is what Brian Ward used when we fought Team Action, which is they're all kind of different, alignments and upside down and stuff. And he made an amazing poster with us and Team Action using that poster. And I think it was because it was on our back wall, so he knew. He's just receptive that way. But those are really like the only movie posters that came from a theater. All the other ones eventually they got moved and then eventually put away. But the varying art that you can find at conventions, at any of the Comic-Cons.
Granted, we do have like the little like stuff like figurines and stuff. We have a Ashy Slashy back there from Ash versus Evil Dead, which is I love that puppet. It's great.
It's gotta mean something, I guess. Like
funny enough, the majority of like all of the Funko Pops that we have been given to us. The only time that I ever bought one was like a Titanic one, and that was it. So,
and the reason is, man, is because I see what you're doing, Funko. I know what you're doing. And yes, I can have 100 boxes that I have to put somewhere of my favorite characters, which I completely get it. You get that collector in you. I collected basketball NBA cards for years. I still have huge stack of 90s NBA basketball cards, and it's never ending. Like it's more than Funko Pops. Like it is a never ending thing. So I quit cold turkey before it gets bad. So I don't buy Funko Pops. I don't buy any of the collector variances of certain things, because I know it will never end, and I will just have,
unless it looks cool, of something that we can fit in our background that makes sense. Like getting Back to the Future shoes, or having Grogu in the background, stuff like that.
It's gotta, I don't know, and the experience in getting it is like, for one of the Funko Pops that we have is a Conan O'Brien exclusive Funko Pop dressed as Spider-Man from a San Diego Comic-Con,
Mhm.
given to us, gifted
to us
Gifted.
by Nerd Chronic
By Eric.
Oh, by Nerd Chronic.
before
Okay.
we knew who he was.
Yeah, before we became like really, really good friends, it was more so like, hey, I'm really big fans of you. I have an extra one. Here's one. It's like one of the Conan ones, and if you know, those ones are pretty exclusive. So it was awesome to see.
And we got it from him at a live event for the Schmoedown. We were holding it backstage after the show, and Big John Schnepp was right there, and he saw it, and he's like, "Where did you get that?" And we're like, "We just got it from one of our fans out here." And he's like, "Dude, sell it."
Yeah, he told us to sell it.
Sell it. He's like, "It is worth a lot of money." And that is and then he shifted over to like, he just gave it to you, man. He's like, "I'll buy it from you." And I was like, "No, not anymore, man. You hyped it up too much." So we were like, "Really?" Like, I didn't think much of it when he gave it to us, and he told us it was an exclusive. But when Big Shot John Schnepp is on his radar, who at that point we've had amazing conversations with John Schnepp already at Phoenix Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That's where we felt like we could hang with the crew, was when we could talk to John Schnepp for a long period of time.
Yeah.
But that moment, that Funko Pop, we have that Funko Pop on display. I can look at it right over here next to the camera. And that's when I say, like, we've got Funko Pops. They got to mean something. It's the experience that comes with getting it. And then that's when I put it on display. But if it's like, "I want this one, it's never ending. It kind of loses its feel for me.
No, I get that. And it's unfortunate that not all of us got a chance to meet King of the Sweaties himself, Big John Schnepp, because that was a huge, devastating loss for all of us a few years back.
Grateful.
Yeah.
Very grateful, man. Definitely hurt across all fandoms. It was a tough loss, but you know what, man? He helped us. He helped us greatly. It led us to become friends. He was the first Collider. He was the first Collider person that we really got to talk, with, versus just a traditional, like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Here's a picture. Thanks." Like, that was, he wouldn't let us leave. He wouldn't let us leave the table. When we walked up, we talked to him. He'd be like, "Don't go anywhere." Like,
when somebody else came out,
invited us out later that night. Chris Gore came over. We were just talking the whole time. Chris Gore, John Schnepp, Vanessa, myself. You can see that vlog available on our channel as well. Chronicled the experience, man. It's Phoenix Comic-Con vlog that we shot. That's when we knew, hey, we could do this. We can do this. We made up for the horrible D23 vlog, which you can see all the D23 vlogs we've done since then, also available on our channel, where we met more heroes. And the moment that I hold dearest from D23 was the texting back and forth with Christian Harloff, and then running into the crew on the floor. In vlog, you can see it go down in the vlog. And it was a complete 180 of when we first met them at D23.
It was that, and the fact that, like, there were other people too that came up and they're like, "Oh, are you late to the party? Like, we want to." It was the weirdest like experience, but it was still fun.
When we first met Mark and Christian at D23, we also met John Roca that time, and then we met Mark Riley in front of Star Tours at Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
dude, like, it was a hell of a weekend. But with D23, the interaction that we had with Christian and Mark was like, "Oh my God, there's Christian and Mark from the Collider, from AMC Movie Talk."
It's the very first time that we met
from the Schmoes. And we're like, and they were sitting down. And as soon as we walked up, they stood up and they did the meet and greet. And Mark is the one that like dances the conversation because somebody from, I think it was like IGN came over.
It was Nerdist.
Nerdist came over, and Christian did and then talk shop.
Yeah, business.
Talk shop.
That's
and
business.
Ellis,
is the business.
Yeah, Ellis held the conversation. What did we see? Anything cool? Cool. Thank you. And then Christian right back for the goodbye. Nice to meet you guys. Enjoy. Picture. And then went on in. D23, after Late to the Party has been formed, when we tried to form it back then, didn't work. Late to the Party formed. We see them, and They were talking to somebody. We walk up. Christian goes to us, business, talking, hanging out, whatever. Goes back, takes the picture with them, back with us. And then it's like the crazy thing that we are now the Nerdist people coming up and talking, where it's like, oh, I really know who you are. And then, okay, now we're back to the... It was an amazing 180 moment as fans of the Schmoes, the Schmoedown, AMC Movie Talk, Collider Video, like all that. It was that's one of those celebrity moments too that I'll put up there for meaningful interactions from conventions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeez, I don't know whether you're trying to tell another incredible story, plug your channel, or make everyone in this room outside of the studio jealous.
Can it be all? I mean, it's
both. Both is good.
It can be yours, is what I'm saying. It can be anybody's. It is possible. So whatever it is that they're all, wanting to get, to see,
craving,
to experience. Yeah. As long as you're not a deviant, you can make it happen. Don't be a creeper. Don't be a creep.
Boy, that's a PSA for you. So
in my line of work, man, I see a lot of PSAs. So I work in television and television, like local television, like programming and all that stuff, and PSAs. I see some garbage television, I tell you. I see some crap. I see some good shit though.
So how were the two, I'm just curious, and you probably already answered it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So going back, how were you first introduced to the Schmoedown? What was the first match you ever remember seeing or reacting to? And then what was it like when you got the phone call from the chairman saying, hey, I want you guys to come to the big show, the MTS. What do you think?
Well, we started watching it back when it was during the Schmoes Know show.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The whole thing with Tiffany Smith and
absolutely
Finstock, all of that good stuff, and then
Bobby Gucci,
them doing the tournament there. So that's kind of like where we did that, and then our first reaction wasn't until like season 4.
I don't remember. It's so long. And the thing is we can just go back on YouTube and find out when it was and what the first one was. That's the glory again of technology and chronicling your life. Yeah. When it comes to the first ones, I don't remember which first match it was, but it was Ultimate Schmoedown on the Schmoes Know movie show. So and I remember the tag. No. I'm not talking about reacting. I'm talking about watching. Like that was when I was like definitely into the tag team, tournament as well. Sure. When Schnepp was there. And we had been watching. We had been fans the entire time from the Schmoes Know movie show leading up to the call. And I don't remember exactly when the call happened. It was right after Spectacular of season 3, so it should have been season 4 when we started.
It was like in the middle of February, March. It was like before the free for all was happening, and we were doing reactions beforehand, and then we got an email. I always tell the story. You could tell the story. I want to see how your reaction. Well, anyways, we got an email and I was at work.
She took it.
It makes sense that I do it because I start with the conversation with that. But I was at work. I saw an email from Christian saying, when are you in LA next? And then he was still sleeping because I was working really, really early. And I was like freaking out. I couldn't like work the rest of the day. I was like, I can't do this. And then you finally woke up and then you can tell the rest of the story.
Heart dropped, heart sank. I was like, holy crap. Well, how are we going to, and it was so simple. Like just when you in LA, that's all it said. Christian kept it very minimal. When you in LA. And so I'm like, oh my God, D23 is like the only next possibility to be able to do anything, because that's when we're going to California. Because you don't just go to California, or nobody just goes to California.
Well,
right?
unless you're the Wizard and you're competing in Video Armageddon.
Right, but you don't do it consistently and often.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you're going 100%. And we do stop at the Cabazone Dinos. You can check out that freaking vlog on our channel.
And it was in 2017, so it was the year that we were going to go to D23 anyway.
Sure.
So we're like, so that's
Right.
when we're like, oh, we're gonna be in California at this time, and he's like, oh, that's pretty.
He's like, that's pretty far away, and I was like, oh my god, this is it.
Or like we're pretty busy or something, and we're like,
he's like, how about next week?
Yeah, and then he like messaged. He's like, well, do you guys want to come next week for the free for all? Because they were recording it at the time, and it was literally the next weekend, and we were at first we were like, no,
we have jobs
that we have to go to. We can't go. It's probably not possible.
Right.
And it really was. I think the only reason why we did say too is because our friend Travis, he was like, let's do it, let's go, I'll drive. And it was the part where he was like, I'll drive. I'm like, okay, maybe we can do this. So then I messaged my student like, hey, can I get this day off? Can I? And then they were like, cool with it. So it was really down to that. And then we were like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
That moment when you say yes, even though everything tells you to say no.
You say yes, and then now you have to figure out how to get to that yes, like
and
how to get
logistically.
And it was tough. It was not an easy feat to overcome. And we did it all while filming the experience. And it was, just an incredible opportunity to work through that no and turn it into a yes. And not just a yes, but something that would be a consistent thing for us ever since then, minus the pandemic, was going to Los Angeles, leaving here, hanging out with Nerd Chronic, becoming friends with them. So it really was like, we knew we were opening a door. And I think that's what was daunting when Christian asked, come next week. And many other fans and Schmoedown diehards are making these trips. Like, they are flying, they're going to Dallas or where was it? El Paso? Where was San Antonio? Damn, I'm just dropping all that.
I think it was in Houston. I think it was in Houston, because
I'm thinking about where everybody and like the call to actions from. Like, everybody's from Texas. Adams is freaking
Brad Gilmore and
Brad. Yeah. So I'm starting to think like, wait, where was the match? Because they're all over Texas.
Yeah.
But you see them, they just travel, and we're the ones that travel to LA. You have some that go to New York, you have some that go to Florida,
Atlanta.
Absolutely. And it's you see this migration. And I think that's, Arizona really had a huge migration that moves over to Phoenix moves over from Phoenix to Los Angeles when it comes to the Schmoedown live events. And now we've got our own little cluster here in Tucson. PJ Campbell, writer for the Schmoedown, lives down the road. Chance Ellison, Tim Franco,
Cobra.
Absolutely. Chance Ellison never even knew he was in the same town. And being in the Schmoedown, you hear about these people that are making waves in the fan leagues. And you've got, Chance Ellison. Was that his last name?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I almost said Ellis, and I was like, Mark Ellis?
No. AKA the Cobra. Yeah.
Chance is my friend. Chance and I know each other very well. He's Chance. He's Chance to me. I don't. That's why I forget actors' names so much in the Schmoedown, because to me, he's a character. He's Chance. Like, that's who he is. He's a great guy, and he's another guy that got that call. Yeah. So all these people getting those calls, man, it truly is a call to arms. I don't know, it's crazy. You're getting
one of the few individuals who can wear a black leather jacket and a pair of shades and kick ass while doing it
in Tucson in 100 and some degrees as well. He does it all the time. That's just
him. He just wears it.
We go to the movie. We get like these screenings that we go to for Cinemark all the time, and Chance still shows up in every time, and it's great. He's got that look.
Every time. By the way, our producer just whispered in my ear, IGN v Nerdist was your first Schmoedown reaction video, guys.
There we go.
And that's a good one to jump into, because those are two very big names, IGN and Nerdist. But honestly, the only reason we did actually finally pull the trigger, it wasn't a specific match.
We actually wanted to do reactions for Spectacular. Like, that's when we were like that. But we felt like we couldn't do it. Like, we would had to ask, and we didn't know like how to ask to make it seem like it. I don't know. It was just like
As reactors, you get a lot of crap for siphoning off somebody else's creativity. That's why we primarily stick to trailers and TV shows and now movies, thanks to HBO Max. But we tend to kind of stay away from other content creators' content because we don't want to be like, oh, we're taking views. Somebody might watch it on ours instead of watching it there.
Yeah.
And so we didn't feel right doing it. Mm-hmm. And when it came to we wanted to ask. We did want to ask. I was going to ask a lot when we saw them, I think, at D23. But I was working up to maybe asking. And he ended up putting out the call to reactors on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
That was it. That
was like, there it is. There's our call to
your golden ticket.
Next match was up. And it helps, man, because anybody who's thinking about getting into YouTube and then putting together a Schmoedown reaction, because it's over an hour long. It's not an easy video to put together quickly. And when we ended up taking on the Schmoedown, we were already a well-oiled machine in reactions and getting them produced. And so it hit the ground running, like immediately. Boom. Well, here's your Schmoedown reaction. We answered the call and we answered it instantly in good quality. So they're like, well, okay, well, here's our Schmoedown reactors that we're just going to watch because this is it. This is who is here. This is like the primary reaction channel for the Schmoedown now. And it ended up cementing us quickly into the Schmoedown League. But yeah, it wasn't until Christian put out that call. Had he not put out that call, we probably would have eventually, but it definitely...
It would have been later.
It would have been much later.
Right.
So again, everything just happened at the moment it was supposed. Everything just happened so fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the call to action from Christian. Why we did it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And going into your first match, and I know you've chronicled all your journeys and amazing things that you've done on your channel, and you keep plugging them religiously. I understand.
I'm excited about them.
You're a plug machine, brother. I
love them. I do love those experiences, man. Yeah. Like the team action experience. Like I am so glad because, dude, you're tired and you don't want to turn on the camera and you don't want to have to be blah, blah, blah in someone's face. But man, those experiences, dude, I'm so glad we have them. Just for me, it's home movies. It's home movies for us, not just plugging our videos. I want you to watch my home movies. You guys want to see one of my videos? I'm like Uncle Rico putting the video on, and you're just watching me. I could throw a football over them mountains. This is when I did throw a football over them mountains. With these matches.
I see what you did there. So with your first moment, your first match, you walk into the arena, you're getting to see the crew, the members, and who you're going to be going up against in your first match. What was it like walking out on the biggest stage in movie trivia history, the movie trivia Schmoedown in general, being in front of, this is just my own mind, being in front of 20,000 people in an arena like they do in pro wrestling, because I grew up watching pro wrestling. This is where my mind comes in. You walk into this arena full of 20,000, not really, but I'm just imagining it, 20,000 people, and you're in your first match. How did it feel?
I'm trying to go back to how I feel because it felt like it happened so fast. And then after it was done, it was like, wait, what did I just do? It kind of was just like a blur. An awesome blur that happened. I was nervous. I remember being nervous and excited, but more so like having to answer questions in front of like actually be there on the stage. But like once we were able to, and it was just like that first jitters of going out and stuff. But once we were at the desk at the thing, then it was like, okay, I'm good. I could do this. But it was a lot of fun.
I am so glad that we got to go there and experience the free-for-all before we had to compete, because the nerves of going the first time and all that, like definitely were experienced for the free-for-all, and we didn't even compete. And if we had to combine that with that first match, holy crap, I could only imagine how it feels for others that go and do it. But going and doing that first match, it was more so like, oh, we're putting on a show. Like this is a production. We get to go first, and someone else gets. And you kind of feel like, all right, it is our hit time. Like you feel like you're in it. You're involved, and you've got a duty that you need to pull off. We got to do our pre-interview. Okay, let's do someone else's pre-interview. We'll do this first, and you're getting directed around what you need to do. Christian, that's the best thing about Christian, and I guess it could be a downside too, depending on who it is that comes in, because some people need direction and other people's just wing it. Other people's is people's. Muppets Take Manhattan.
I grew up on that movie too.
Right? It's so good. Christian didn't tell us anything. He didn't need to, and he even says it in the actual match where he's like, I love that I don't have to tell them what to do, where to go. They just get it.
Yeah.
And when we did our team action pre-interview, this is it. Like, I got the microphone in my hand, and we're about to go. This is a start. This is where it's all happening. Because you do a little meet and greet. Hello, team action. Nice to meet you. Amazing guys. Andrew Guy and Ben Bateman. So friendly, so loving. And then they put on those sunglasses, and then they become
the greatest, some of the best villains in the history of the Schmoedown.
Right. But no, man, one of the best parts too is like, for first thing, doing the whole intro, we nailed it in one take.
Yeah.
Done.
Nice.
And Christian's like, all right, great, we got it. Thank God.
Finished.
Thank you. Like, we did what we needed to do. And from then on, right before you walk through that curtain is like the second wave, I think, of nerves. You get a lot of nerves in this game. And the second one was standing behind that curtain, hearing the show. You can picture the show because you've seen it a million times. So when you've got Ken and you've got Christian announcing and the crowd cheering, like, you're imagining it. And we're back there, and there's team action, and then there's us, and we're waiting. And I pull out, like, at this point, we're not talking to each other. Like, they're kind of next to each other, we're next to each other, and we're just like, oh my God, we're here. I think I remember saying that, like, can you believe this? Like, we're here. It's about to happen. And she's like, same thing. We're just so energized. And what I do right before they go out is I pull out the camera, and I'm like, to team action. And they're like, and they come over, and we have a picture of us, the four of us, right before the match, all smiles across the board.
Yeah.
So for them, I got them to break a little of their character. And now it's like, oh, but they were willing to do it because it's a show, it's a game, it's fun. You're here to play.
Right.
It's theater, yeah.
And when you walk through that curtain, I think what takes the nerves off is now you're in. It's weird, like you become lucid almost, to where you see what's happening, but you have complete control over your mannerisms and what you say and where you're looking and what you're not supposed to be doing, and where, you don't want to be like looking over here. Like, how to navigate this game, and knowing how to navigate the game, I think, helped so much more with going into a game like this, because we knew how it worked. We knew what was next. We knew what we were allotted and what we weren't. And you could see that in the game immediately. We answer the first question, then the next question. And before I know it, I haven't missed a question. And it's like, is this real? That's when my nerves hit again, was like, holy crap, I just did a complete first round with the bonus question. And for me, it's like, holy crap, it's got nowhere to go but down. And then it's like, boom, second nerves hit, because now you got the wheel coming, and you have no clue how it's going to go. And holy crap, it landed on the one thing we were just
stuck with the first action.
Should have stuck with action adventure. And I'm so glad we got to hear what their questions were, so we can say, yep, we would have been just fine with action adventure. I would have probably gone to multiple choice one time, but other than that, we would have done 2 points the entire time. But and the multiple choice was only because it was one of those. It was what was the nickname for what's her name in Top Gun, and it was Charlie. And I'm like, Charlie, Charlotte, and I'm like, it's Charlie. And then, but I'm like, I'm not 100%. I'm like, where did Charlie come from? So we probably would have done multiple choice, and then I would have verified that it was Charlie and would have taken the point. But still, maybe I would have gone 2 points and been dumb and been like, Charlie, and we would have beat team action. It's just how it was. But instead, we spun again, You should have stuck with the first, Andrew Guy says all the time. And I think it is a line that needs to be symbolic for those that spin away and hit something they didn't necessarily want. There's just that whole feeling you get when it's like, shit, I should have stuck with the first. Like, this is going to go way worse, but it didn't. And we got Westerns, the one that I was worried about because I didn't study any Westerns before we got there.
Granted, it was a lot of the ones that it was in our wheelhouse type Westerns.
Those were our questions for the most part. And yeah, man, the nerves just keep hitting through those kinds of matches. And when you lose and when you win, two different feelings, the post interview when you lose and the post interview when you win, they're completely different styles of emotion that you feel inside you. And I can't speak for her, I don't know, but I felt I got to experience the moment of feeling like I disappointed people in the Schmoedown. And there's the feelings of, oh my God, I made everyone so happy. And for me, it was like when we lost against the Wolves of Steel, like we were so tired. We had been driving back and forth. We drove back for the first match with Critically Acclaimed 1, came home, then drove back to do it again. And at that point, it was like earlier in the day, we were first on the list. There was nobody really even there. And it's like, oh, this isn't going to go the way we, and Riley played an amazing.
Yeah, he played such a good game.
Amazing game. And you got Clark Wolf, who I don't think even missed
she
one.
Missed one question in the first round.
And then stole ours, each time stole ours. And then Riley was on fire, got a perfect round in round 1. And it's just, you do the threes. You're like, you know what? I'm not going to play a short game. I'm just going to shoot, miss, shit, shoot, miss. She stole it again. And that's what happens. And I remember the feeling afterwards that it's like, I was supposed to put on a show. This is the ultimate Schmoedown. We're supposed to have a good match. And I felt like we didn't. We didn't. The bracket busters coming in. So getting to feel that all those ranges of emotions with those matches, like it's an incredible range that I'm very happy to feel, but nothing compares to that first match with Team Action. I can feel those feelings again. And then the other ones, I'm like, well, I'll kind of go back to Team Action again, because that's where I felt them the strongest, I guess.
My goodness gracious. Well, I appreciate you sharing that story of what it was like for the first match. And then you go and you do these other matches within the MTS. And then obviously you pull one of the biggest upsets in history by bidding the Beast Bibiani and Ellis from Die Hard's doppelganger. What's his name? Whitney something? Whitney Seibel. That's right. Because I'm sorry, Whitney, but Hans Booby.
I'm your white knight.
I mean, come on, man. That's such a good line in that movie, but yet still I digress. But anyway, so after you pull this major upset, you do all this crazy and wonderful things within the MTS, and then all of a sudden, everything kind of goes quiet for a while. You're not competing in the MTS as much. Obviously, I know it's a scheduling issue. It's also a logistics issue because you live in one of the hottest states in the free world known as Arizona, where it's like 150 every other day, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so you got that going for you. So you take a little bit of a break for a while. Was it your decision to kind of say, you know what, MTS has been fun, it's been great, but I'm not sure we can really do it anymore? Or was it Christian's decision? Was it your guys' decision to kind of put MTS on hold for a while? What was that like?
I think it was kind of an amalgamation of everything together. You have our jobs, and then they had certain things that they wanted to do as far as storylines that didn't really see us fit into that at the moment, which is totally fine. We totally get it. For that. So that's kind of like why we laid low there for a little bit. And then I think after that, then the Wildberries was like the last match that we did.
Yeah, the gap. I mean, when you lose in the Ultimate Schmoedown, you're out for the rest of the year. Like there's nothing that you can do,
right?
Because the matches are going to head towards titles and then spectacular. So unless you're part of a storyline that is popping, or you're a belt holder or going for a belt, you're done. You're done the entire time. And we kept doing the Schmoedown reactions the entire time throughout all that. So we just played the game the way it's supposed to. And if you don't win, you don't get to play anymore, which honestly, man, we were okay with. Like, we felt like, okay, we made an impact. We did what we came here to do. Right. It would have been cool if we won, but man, the logistics of coming back 3 more times, holy crap. Like, that would have been way harder on our already, exhausted and worn out and financially spent group, because it wasn't just us going all the time. It was Tim and then Ashley and then Travis. So it was, it was kind of tough to be able to achieve that. Plus, we didn't have anywhere to stay when we were there. So granted, it did get a little easier when we got Nerd Chronic joining up with us in just fucking friendship, man. The dude is an incredible guy, opens up his house to everybody that comes around.
Oh, wow.
And the movie couple as well, Wendy and Dustin. When we went the first 3 times we went, man, we stayed with Wendy and Dustin. Amazing. We wouldn't have been able to pull off a lot of what we did in the Schmoedown without Wendy and Dustin, because we stayed with them every single time. When we beat Critically Acclaimed, we were staying with Wendy and Dustin. Team Action, Wendy and Dustin. Wolves of Steel, Wendy and Dustin. So we thank them for the ability to be able to do a lot of that stuff, because there's so much that goes into pulling a trip like this off, let alone having to compete and do all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, we eventually weaned down the Schmoedown, and we even slowed down on the reactions and then stopped doing the reactions. And it came down to Schmoedown grew, matches grew. Our workload was still busy with the channel. Late to the Party was still doing trailer reactions, vlogs, movie reviews, lives. We have full-time jobs, both of us. So all that plus the channel that was already being run, plus the Schmoedown growing, it came to a point where we would stick to the main event. So we would do like spectacular or celebrity matches or title matches. And then eventually it ended up becoming the live events. And I think what ended up changing for us, at least in the Schmoedown for coverage, was once you go to a live event and experience that, that's the coverage you want to do for the Schmoedown. Like I can do the daily stuff, but man, it's about doing it there with the crowd. And holy crap, the horseman reveal, the 5 horsemen reveal was pinnacle.
That was huge.
Pinnacle.
Great moment too.
I still go back and watch that video.
That's
and
insane.
It's because it's the people around us. Ethan, Trappy Jenkins, like all these people that show up to these events, we know them from the events. They were fans. Ethan, this dude Ethan, we met there at the live event. Dude lives here, and we've hung out like multiple times because of these live events, and we just know him from being in the crowd. And you could see him in the background, just he's losing it when it happened. Like he's standing up over here and just goes nuts. And it's those live events are where we want to cover. And I feel like just knowing how to shoot a live event, it was a new experience. It was something foreign to us that took effort and work. And you're vlogging and you're Schmoedown reacting, and you're doing it with the competitors. Like, whew, it's tough and it's not easy. And then after that, it was like the pandemic hit and there's no more events. And it's like, we were talking about it. Like, so which Schmoedown live event do you want to go to this year? The one in New York, the one in Georgia, the one, like, where are we going to go to? Like, now we're starting to think of, the traversing. Let's vlog the traversing of a Schmoedown in another state. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not over, but it has calmed down. And I'm so happy with the growth of everybody's after shows that came afterwards. I mean, some of them still running strong. Take three was back when we were there starting out, and the Take 3 is still a functioning channel doing their thing, man. It passed 1,000 subscribers. So I mean, it's cool that you've got the old school and then you've got the new school killing it. Call to action, man. Call to action, I think, was like they are the Joker to the Batman. We were the Batman. We ignited something that brought call to action, and they came in hot and heavy, and feels like thousands of them. There's so many of them. But yeah, the party isn't over. We're going to keep doing Schmoedown reactions. It's just that when something big happens or an event, that's when we'll be back again to do the Schmoedown reactions.
Well, that definitely sounds like a plan. Now with MTS, you've had some moments, had your matches. Now that's behind you. Now you're looking ahead to something known as the FCL. FCL is here. So what was that like when you guys got the call, and how excited are you to compete within the FCL, to kind of get your mojo back, get your groove back, get back in the swing of putting those names on that whiteboard, putting points on the board, and maybe one day becoming FCL world champions? How does that sound?
It sounds like a lot of work. I'm just kidding. I'm
Here
excited.
We go again.
I'm excited to be doing this and having to be a part of another thing in the Schmoedown, like starting out and like helping them start out another thing too, like FCL. And I it seems like a more, what's the word I'm looking for? More relaxed in this one, whereas the other one, you know, you've got your factions, you've got your managers, you've got like all of these things that you have to factor in. Whereas here, you're kind of, you know, playing movie trivia and having a lot of fun with it. So
it's classic Schmoedown. We're going back to the age of Schmoedown in which we played when there was no manager, was no factions, was no crazy over the top intricate storylines that are taking place. Here it's good old fashioned beat your ass and move up the rank, and it's still the Schmoedown game. Everything is exactly the same, and we've got, you know, two different commentators that are killing it right now, just in being capable to run the game, because you're running a game as well as trying to be, you know, witty and punchy and get, you know, the show on the road. You've got to keep it moving forward. And that's what these commentators are doing. And of course, Brad is an experienced man on the mic, killing it with the rundown as well. But yeah, when it came down to it and they were putting together this minor league, because it's honestly, it's how it is. It's a minor league in which you're trying to get back into the major league.
Right.
And when they put it together and it's like, okay, well, here's yes, we're starting. We're the first, literally the first class. Somebody said that, where it's like, it's the first class. And it's like, well, damn, yeah, they are. I think it was Brad that said it. And we are the first class of the first class league. And it's like, how do you pass up a moment like that? You know, that's something that you definitely would love to coin, because we coin the reactions as well. So why not coin how we're going to approach this league? And the way to approach this league is fun. Like we have to enjoy ourselves. We have to have fun at the same time as be competitive and win. So you got to play smart, but this is where it's all going to be shown to everyone that does maybe think we could be in the Schmoedown. We already know we could be in the Schmoedown. We were there for a long time. So for us, it's like, well, if you want us in the Schmoedown, cool. I'm going to do the same thing when I get over there. I'm going to have fun. This is the way I'm going to approach it. And if you don't want that, then FCL, I'm going to have fun here too. Because guess what? We're still playing trivia. We're still quizzing each other all the time. We're still making mental notes. The Schmoedown has kind of altered our brain chemistry to where when we watch something, you're trying to absorb a lot of things as well. So you have the knowledge of it. And it isn't just in competition. It's altered our brain chemistry so we can use it in our reactions. Being educated on any of the actors or characters or franchises or films or series, like that stuff is making us a more versatile conversationalist when it comes to the things that we do on the channel. So yeah, the whether we're playing in the Schmoedown or the FCL, we're going to be competing. So put us in the game. Let's compete. Let's have some fun. And that's where I think the FCL is really going to show its hand as like the place to kind of be if you don't want to go head to head with the Titans that are just constantly demolishing each other, the gladiators in the ring. I even saw Molly Damon in the comment section. She's like, this is where I want to be. And it's like, yeah, I mean, for sure. And the questions are only going to get harder, and the battles are going to evolve and escalate as well. So this is kind of the fun moment before it eventually probably will get super serial. But yeah, no, it's exciting when they told us that we're going to be in the FCL. It's like, hell yeah. I mean, more Schmoedown. Why not? Like that's something. Yeah, but we gotta still. It's still hard work.
It is.
We still have to request the days off to be able to be on it, because we both work Tuesdays. Every Tuesday at that time we are working, and so we have to take PTO to be able to get those days off to be in these games. And you know what? It's worth it.
That's dedication right there.
And we don't have to drive to Burbank, so it definitely is something we're excited about. For on 420, it's coming up.
That is very true. That is very true. So in a way, even though we're all tired and above and beyond tired of something known as a pandemic,
Yeah.
people are starting to get vaccinated. People are starting to go back to work. World is slowly but surely going to reopen. I'm sure the pandemic has been a positive for you guys. You're like, hey, we don't have to drive over to Burbank hundreds of miles away to do this. We can just do it from the comfort of our own home, aka your ridiculously good-looking studio.
It's nice.
It is actually really nice having
Not having to do that.
having to drive.
Hours. Yeah, no, it's great when we did the first digital, or when I did the match with Jeff Snyder. Like, it was so nice. I'm playing the game. I'm doing the same. Nothing is different.
I was actually here too because I work from home. So while he was doing that, I was in the other room working.
But it's great. It's great being able to play the game and be a part of it without having to drive. And there's many other people that wouldn't be able to be a part of the game if it was travel only. We've got Taylor Robinson and Jacob in Australia. Yeah. There's no way they would have been able to do it. Cat and Sonny for the FCL. Like, you wouldn't be able to have a lot of these people. Eric Whiteley wouldn't be able to be a part of the Schmoedown as much as he can now. So I mean, you're gonna get a lot of expanded abilities just by being able to make it available to people outside of Burbank, California.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's fantastic that it's digital. They got to keep the digital. That's the only way they're going to be able to let the other, universe people play, because it's an extended universe of Schmoedown competitors across the globe. So in order to be able to achieve that, the digital's got to stay for at least them. So why not for us too? But I mean, we'll still make the trip for the big ones, but still, it's tough.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to seeing what you're going to be doing within the FCL. Now, before we wrap this up, a little bit of a round robin thing here. Going back to the MTS for just a moment. If you're all caught up, if you've seen all the matches, you've seen some of the factions, the competitors, the war. This season's theme is war. So clearly there's something big brewing, and if not already, with other stuff going on. But anyway, first question, favorite movie trivia Schmoedown singles competitor, Robert?
It's Adam. It's Adam Collins, man. Like, I was blown away, and every time I talk about the one that is to beat, it's Adam Collins. And yes, there are others that obviously can take it away from him. Dan Merle, obviously, but when it comes down to it, the one that just pops in my head is like the goods. It's Adam.
Now, are we talking about like who are currently playing right now, or just in general who are
like who have played so far? Because I'm going to need a list.
No, it's cool with everything that's gone down. Like I would say favorite singles competitor right now.
Right now.
I'm pulling I don't even know. I have to pull up everyone's names because I don't know everyone's
if you want to turn back the clock a little bit, just say who in your opinion would be your favorite movie trivia Schmoedown singles competitor of all time.
Well, I dig Blind Wave a lot, so Adam, but I mean, he's Star Wars, so I don't know if he's actually going to end up plan on playing in the singles league. But if he is, that would be interesting. But
well, I mean, for right now, I would say that my favorite, because I want to see her, go further in the game and stuff, and that's Janine. I think that she has she can do it, and I hope to see more of her in the game.
Fair enough.
Peggy, that's right. Peggy's killing it right now, and I was excited with Peggy's match, and we got to be on a live stream with Peggy not too long ago. We made her read the movies off of her DVD backdrop.
Oh my gosh, man! Yeah. She's got like 100. She's got like hundreds of those things.
It was fun. It was a fun moment.
It's unique. I really like the way she did it with all of the DVDs and Blu-rays on the back end.
All right. Favorite MTS tag team or team?
Right now, I would actually go with Corruption. I think that
the NWO, the best faction going today. Corruption, yes.
Corruption. I think that Chance and Mike definitely complement each other very, very well. And then of course, having Shannon being there with them, it was just like the cherry on top of a sundae right there.
She has embraced the managerial role so much ever since she came through the front door.
Mm-hmm. Love it. And if
She
you're
eats it
gonna
up with
go
a
with
spoon.
managers, she'd probably be my favorite manager right
Clearly
now.
someone
Although
has
I do
read-
love Kate too.
Yeah, clearly someone has read the Corruption Handbook because I love Corruption so much. They are my number one favorite of all time. They're my number one favorite. To me, they are the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Corruption, the NWO of the Schmoedown. I love them to pieces. But anyway, enough about me. What was your favorite team, Robert? I never got it.
So yeah, Corruption, we definitely have a connection with, personal connection.
Oh, yeah, because of Cobra.
Of course. Well, that, and we beat them 2 times at a table game at PJ Campbell's house while Shannon was game hosting. And it was fantastic. They beat us once, but we beat them 2 times, and it was amazing. Eric from Nerd Chronic actually has the win caught on tape, so there's footage of it out there somewhere.
Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, right? and that ain't bad. But when it comes to the Corruption, yeah, of course, it's because of Chance. It's because of Mike. I remember Mike's probably the first competitor that I walked up to at a Schmoedown live event to tell them that I loved what they were doing in the Schmoedown and loved the growth that they've been showing as a competitor. And he was leaving, and I had to run out and like catch him before he walked out the door. And yeah, so Mike Kalinowski and Chance, of course. But yeah, Shazam. I do love Shazam. I love, same thing, Brendan the Kid. I had a great conversation with Brendan the Kid in the jowls of the backstage that is the Globe Theater in Los Angeles, because it's a very dark and underground place. And so like I just got to talk to Brendan there. But of course, Bibiani, man. I mean, we've got a very close working connection with Bibiani. So and had great conversations with both him and Whitney. So I love Shazam. I love Corruption. Whenever they do battle, I kind of, depending on where we are and who's won, I kind of shift, because it's like, nope, right now Corruption needs to win it, or right now, nope, Shazam needs to win it. Like, it's just, it feels like the game needs to go a certain way. And for those competitors, like, it'll shift because I love both of them. It's kind of like the Patriots. I love the Patriots, but eventually I was like, nope, they need to lose now. Like, you guys are too dominant. I need you to get taken down. And then the Shire Wolves came and did it.
Too much. Favorite Inner Geekdom competitor?
Mara. I love Mara. I love her humor when she's like doing her post interviews. I know it is so random, and I love it.
Makes no sense, like, at all. It doesn't make any sense. It's like she just came out of nowhere. It's like, what is this? What's your character? I don't even know what's going on right now.
It's great. So yeah, Mara is probably my favorite.
It's very well executed in the way that she does it, too, where it sounds like too good to be random. Like, it fits so well, although it's incredibly random.
Smets is also there too. I think that him coming in and just dominating it was great. Like, especially where he came from and how he was talking about, like, he did do the interview and did try to do the audition for it, and it didn't pan out. And then so he buckled down and was like, okay, I got to do this. And then he ended up winning the belt. It was great.
Good picks. So I guess that comes to the galaxy far, far away. Favorite Star Wars competitor?
It's my boy Alex, man.
It's got to be the Demon Damon.
It's my best friend, Alex Damon. I love Alex.
Oh, really? He's your BFF?
Oh yeah, man. We're best friends. Absolutely. As far on this side of the table, but
I wasn't aware you were exclusive. Oh my!
I got to eat dinner with Alex Damon and Molly Damon right next to me. Amazing night. Yard House. And then I got to watch him sing karaoke. So you know what, Alex Damon, really my bestie. I love him. Alex Damon obviously is an amazing competitor, and we've got to witness.
He's a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, right? I mean, Star Wars Explained. We go to him when we need to freshen up on our knowledge for The Mandalorian. So even in our reactions, I will throw stuff to Alex Damon. I'll find out what that is on Star Wars Explained, because I have no clue what kind of ship that is, and I'm sure there's a way to find out.
T6897 model.
Right. Yeah. Dimolanta, obviously.
Oh my gosh. Was that a championship match between Demon and Dimolanta, or what?
Couldn't get any better, and I'm sure it will. Like, they'll figure out ways to just get better. You're going to have freaking sudden death go on forever. That's what's going to happen with Collins in the singles. But when it comes to Star Wars, Dimolanta is fantastic, but yet you got Ace chomping on the hills.
Upset City.
Ace and Laura. Love Laura. Love where she's going with her character this season too.
Dude, I want her back on Corruption so bad.
I know.
I want my girl back on corruption. She needs to be with the NWO, brother.
Dude,
I was be there.
I was shouting at the television when it came to Laura, because her character and what she's doing by maintaining the corruption brand by being in another one. Like,
so good.
Gene,
Perfect.
yes.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It is genius. This, just because you get drafted or you get dropped or moved out doesn't mean your allegiance or alliance doesn't end. So what does that mean? Oh, you're going to steal me as a competitor from my team? Well, guess what? You just brought a corruption seed into your, faction, and anything can happen now that I'm in here. And guess what? I'm still going to play to win because that's what I do. But all that means is I get to hold on to the title and have my brand at the forefront in your faction. Like, it is insane if that is the way that they're planning on going it. Or, flip it, and at some point at the end, she's like, I wasn't winning with you guys, I'm winning with them, and drops the corruption. Is like, boom. Like, either way you slice it, you can have a lot of fun with that. So when I saw her do that, I was like, this is genius and it's perfect, and I wish I did it first, but it's great.
Oh boy, corruption fans. The three of us are going to get along famously if we haven't already.
A lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for the game that KO plays. Always have had a lot of respect for the game that Corruption plays, and Mike Kalinowski and what he has done ever since that boy turned heel. Whew, like, that was it. Like, Mike Kalinowski was already top in my book, and now he pushed it over the edge. Line them all up and gun them all down, shoot them all down.
Yep.
Free for all, man.
Soon as he came through the door, had his first match, he's wearing the suit. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't know who he is, but I'm intrigued to find out more. And then you see his matches, and he grows and continues to grow his skill and his theatrics. And all of a sudden, turns the 180. He's like, I'm sick of you. I didn't see any of you out there. I didn't see Adam. I didn't see Roxy. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I'm a league of my own, man. And then he just leaves. And all of a sudden, the tournament gets turned upside down, and it becomes the corruption tournament, whatever it was. And he's like, whatever happens, I've changed the game. You're welcome, sheep. I'm like, oh my Lord, I don't know what this is, but I'm eating it up because you got the colors of the red and black of the wolf pack that I grew up on in '98, and I'm loving it, brother. I'm loving it.
Anarchy was an amazing,
fantastic
breath of fresh air, a revitalization.
It was so good.
Even led to us getting split up. I mean, eventually it was about splitting teams and Wildberries. It started
great moments within itself, though.
Right. And that's, something that you hang on to those moments, and those moments will last you a long time if done right. And Anarchy has still splintered and shaped the Schmoedown into what it is now. And I love it. Like, that's honestly one of the best revitalizations the game has seen so far. And there's going to be more. Like, the Grace taking over and all that, like, you're starting to see the game will change once again. And it's great to, witness it go down from, right outside the door. We're like Conan O'Brien looking through the window, or Russell Crowe taking a peek. Like, we're right there. We're on the doorstep of the Schmoedown. And we're in the holding pool where at any point they're like, no, I don't like you anymore. No, I don't like you. No. And you just kind of take from the FCL. So it gives the managers a better understanding of what fits.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun on Tuesday. It's 4:20. It's late to the party day. It looks like Vanessa's headlining. The way it works out.
Either way.
The way the other ones have gone, Vanessa's going to kill it in the final throwdown.
Either way, whichever way we go, it's still going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be cool. But looking forward to this Tuesday.
100%. Could not agree more with the main event being Vanessa's match. She's going to be, master of her domain, queen of the castle. That's for sure.
Queen of the castle, queen of the castle. I do queen instead of king. Queen of the castle.
However you want to slice it and dice it. Well, I'm going to tell you guys what. This was fun. This was great. Thank you so much for being here on our first episode of what is known as the Spotlight series we have presented by This Week in the FCL. But before we go, Robert and Vanessa, two of the coolest kids in the entire world going today. And now you're a part of another chapter within the greatest thing in sports entertainment. Where can the good people of the interwebs find you online and everything you have coming up, you two?
Late to the Party on all the social networking gin joints. You know where they are. Just look up Late to the Party. You will
Facebook,
find
Twitter,
it there.
Tumblr, Instagram, Stardust.
Yep.
Everywhere.
We're all there. So, I mean, just look up Late to the Party. It's there. And then we've got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier going on right now on our channel, which is killing it. If you're watching that show, come watch us watch it. We're losing our minds right now. So there's only one episode left. But yeah, Late to the Party on the tubes.
Haven't heard that word in a while.
I know,
but anyhow,
bringing it back.
Bringing it back, man. Everything old is new again. But ladies and gentlemen, you can find me. My name is Ryan. You can find me here on This Week in the FCL on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Don't forget to make sure you're following us on all forms of social media at This Week FCL. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe. And this has been a great presentation of This Week in the FCL. Take care, everyone.